Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Channel Claire. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy, crazy world. So, this is going to be a little bit different of a video, but I came across this article that has been making quite a bit of conversation on social media this week. It was written by Chanty Joseph. She's also a creator over on TikTok, and she wrote this for Vogue on the 29th of this month. The headline, okay, this is an opinion article. The headline can be called controversial, and there's been some feathers that have been ruffled. I get it, but let's just give this a chance, okay? So, the title of the article is having a boyfriend embarrassing now? Question mark. So off initial thoughts, it's like, okay, so you're trying to divide women who are in a relationship versus the single women, and this is divisive rhetoric. And I can see where you're coming from, but as you get more into the article and see where Chanty is coming from, it makes sense in my opinion. Now, I will be transparent. I am in a relationship. Me and my boyfriend have been together for a long time. And, it's a long term relationship. I am not at all embarrassed to have him as my boyfriend. Now, the way that I handle having a boyfriend on social media, for one, I'm not one who posts a lot on IG, Facebook, Twitter, what have you. I really don't do that much. I use social media more as like keeping up with the news and what's going on in the world. So I'm not really pressed to like post even pictures of myself, okay? So when it comes to my significant other, and we've talked about it, I'm like, look, I might post when we get engaged. Definitely when I'm married, I'll post, but like I haven't posted him on my social media. Some people may take issue with that. I get it, but it's not a sense of hiding him. Anybody who knows me knows that I've been together with him for forever and knows that we're a couple. So I think that that is completely fine. I don't need strangers on the internet to know who my boyfriend is. It's really okay. Now, for him, there is a slight double standard because when a man doesn't have any notes of his girlfriend anywhere on social media, it's kind of like a side eye, right? Like, what are you hiding? And yes, it is a double standard, but at the end of the day, men and women are different. We move differently in relationships. It's just different. It's just one of those things that are a double standard. So, men, it kind of is a red flag when y'all don't have your girls on your social media. It's deemed more as, okay, like, what are you hiding? Um, again, in my situation, being transparent, my boyfriend Christian, he's not big on social media. Like, he has a Facebook, he has a Twitter. I don't believe he has an Instagram. I'm on his Facebook. I've been posted. I'm fine with that. I don't need him writing long, drawn out, notes to me or need to be all over his page and his timeline. I just don't feel that necessary. I know that the people who are important know that we're together. Now, when it comes to this article, getting into is having a boyfriend embarrassing now? In this new dating world, it seems as if guys are, in my opinion, they're struggling. There's like this nonchalantness going on. They want to be chased versus being the one who's pursuing the woman. It seems as if tables have flipped some. And also, as we know, even growing up, like you just hear men are always going to cheat. Never say my man, because as soon as you say my man is when they're going to start cutting up. You never know what a man's doing. They're always going to cheat regardless. Like we always hear these things. And so sometimes when women, we're in love with our men and we're happy to be in these relationships, there's still this hesitancy when it comes to social media or letting people know, hey, I have a boyfriend, if they're going to side eye, and or as soon as I say it, or if I post him, is someone going to be sending me a text as, I'm coming to you as a woman? It happens all the time. So let's kind of get into this article and what Chanty Joseph has to say. So she writes, If someone so much as says my boyfriend on social media, they're muted. There's nothing I hate more than following someone for fun, only for their content to become my boyfriendified suddenly. This is probably because for so long it felt like we were living in what one of my favorite substackers calls it, a boyfriend land. So I'm gathering from what she's saying, like, and I will say for myself, yet again, being transparent, I've only learned just recently to kind of not be detached, but definitely care a lot more with what I have going on personally in my life and, taking care of myself, my interests, my business ventures, all of those things instead of being so invested on what he's doing, where he's with, who's he talking to, where is he going, like giving so much of that energy into another person, like especially your boyfriend with whom does not want you to be all up their tail like that. You're taking so much time and attention and energy away from yourself and you're pouring it into somebody who, like, it turns them off. Men unfortunately grow fonder of us the less they see or when we're away. If we're like so attached and all up their ass and consistently like on them, like it kind of makes them want to distance themselves. So, and that's just something I've noticed in my own like dating life. So, boyfriend land, a world where women's online identities centered around the lives of their partners, a situation rarely seen reversed. Women were rewarded for their ability to find and keep a man, with elevated social status and praise. Because remember, back in the day, like 60s and on, you really had to be married to have any type of social status or to start your life. That's when you were able to build your household and have your children and do the things that we've seen our, grandmothers and mothers do. Is when they got married. I mean, for the longest time, women weren't even allowed to have like their own bank account. Like it all had to go through a man. So we've got to get out of this like male centered universe. And I think that we are definitely there because it's really not a reward for finding and keeping a man nowadays. It's not. We're all struggling. And I mean, at the end of the day, if we're being honest, women would be married and the man would take care of them. Nowadays, we're splitting things 50-50 and or women are making more than men, per statistics and everything, and we can take care of ourselves. We don't need that safety net of being in a relationship to be cared for, which some women had to do back in the day. So women were rewarded for their ability to find and keep a man with elevated social status and praise. It became even more suffocating when this would be leveraged on social media for engagement, and if you were serious enough, financial gain. However, more recently, there's been a profound shift in the way people showcase their relationship online. Far from fully hard launching romantic partners, straight women are opting for subtler signs: a hand on a steering wheel, clinking glasses at dinner, or the back of someone's head. On the more confusing end, you have faces being blurred out of wedding pictures or entire professionally edited videos with the fiance conveniently cropped out of all shots. Because they don't want anybody seeing who their man is, and it's based in a fear that like he's going to embarrass me if I put this picture out of him. I feel like someone's going to know something or someone's going to say something, and then this vision that I've had of my life is going to be cracked because of somebody else's perspective or insight of my man that I'm now sharing on social media with the world. That's what it seems like. But I have definitely seen the blurring of the guy's face, or definitely like the steering wheel picture. Like they call it a soft launch. A hard launch is putting his full face out there. A soft launch is the steering wheel, the back of the head, clinking glasses. Like that's a man there, but you don't exactly know who. So it leaves it up to some speculation, but you don't know what's going on. So why? What gives? Why are people doing this? Why are women doing this? Are people embarrassed by their boyfriends now, or is it something more complicated going on? Chanty says, to me, it feels like the result of women wanting to straddle two worlds. One where they can receive the social benefits of having a partner, but also not appear so boyfriend obsessed that they come across as quite culturally loserish. They want the prize and celebration of partnership, but understand the norminess of it, says Zoe Smazuda, who is a writer and activist. In other words, in an era of widespread heterofatalism, women don't want to be seen as being all about their man, but they also want the clout that comes with being partnered. But it's not all about image. When I did a call out on Instagram, plenty of women told me that they were in fact superstitious. Some feared the evil eye, a belief that their happy relationship would spark a jealousy so strong in other people that it could end the relationship. Others were concerned about the relationship ending and then being stuck with the post. One woman says, I was in a relationship for 12 years and never once posted him or talked about him online. We broke up recently and I don't think I will ever post a man, says Nikki 38. Even though I'm a romantic, I still feel like men will embarrass you even when you're 12 years in. So claiming them feels so lame. So being in a relationship for 12 years with a man, okay, as a woman, that's a lot of time that you've dedicated to this other person, to this man, only for him to fuck it up. And I'm assuming that it was him just based off of the context of, how she said this, and she'll never post a man because even after 12 years, they can still embarrass you. So something happened where she's been with this man for 12 fucking years, dedicated, loved him, loved on him, and did all the things girlfriends do. And still, it wasn't enough. After 12 years, he still embarrassed her. So, why put somebody up on your social media and then have them embarrass you? So now you've got posted them all on your IG, and then 12 years in, some shit goes down and you got to remove him from your socials. And people feel a type of way about that, or they feel embarrassed about it. I'm of the sense where I just don't care. I'm going to do what I have to do. But some people do care, and I see both sides. And I'm sorry, Nikki, that happened to you 12 years in. It's ridiculous. But this is not the first and or last story that we've heard like this. It happens all the time where women are in these relationships, these long-term relationships with men, and they get fucked over. And I'm not trying to come off as like, what is the, like, a man hater or anything like that, but, and I know women cheat too and they embarrass their men and such, but by the large majority, it does seem that it is the men fucking up. So the article goes on, but there was an overwhelming sense from single and partnered women alike that regardless of the relationship, being with a man was almost a guilty thing to do. On the Delusionals Diaries podcast, fronted by two New York based influencers, Haley and Jazz, they discuss whether having a boyfriend is lame now. Why does having a boyfriend feel Republican? Read a top comment. Boyfriends are out of style. They won't come back in until they start acting right. Read another comment with thousands of likes. And in essence, having a boyfriend typically takes a hit on a woman's aura. As one commentator claimed, funnily enough, both of these hosts have partners, which is something I often see online. Even partnered women will eliminate men in heterosexuality, partly in solidarity with other women, but also because it is now fundamentally uncool to be a boyfriend girl. We cannot wrap ourselves up in our men so much. And I am such, like, I'm just being so real. I did that so much throughout my relationship. I was so wrapped up in him. It was all about him and what he wanted and what he thought. And I had to unlearn that. And I had learned it late. But ever since I have poured into myself and put the focus back on myself and what I'm doing and what I need and my interest, It's helped our relationship so much. Like, it's insane. It's insane. So, and it's just, and it's crazy because we can feel ourselves doing it, but sometimes it's so hard not to because we're so in love and we're head over heels and we just want to make sure he's okay and all of the things. Where if we just sat back a lot of the time, sat back and relaxed and let them do them and you do you, things end up working out a hell of a lot better. So it continues. It's not just in these women's imaginations. Audiences are icked out by seeing too much boyfriend content, myself included, it seems, as indicated by my liberal use of the mute button. When author and British Vogue contributor Stephanie Yarborough hard launched her boyfriend on social media, she lost hundreds of followers. Even if we're still together, I wouldn't post them there. There was something cringy and embarrassing about consistently posting your partner these days, she tells me, adding that there's a part of me that would feel guilty for sharing my partner consistently, especially when we know the dating landscape is really bad at the moment. I wouldn't want to be boastful. Wow. This is so interesting. And it's like, when I'm thinking about like cringy posts, like, when there's a couple who's been together forever and then it's like their anniversary or birthdays and they're writing like this long drawn out paragraph talking about the ups and downs that we've been through. And it's just like, aren't they in the next room? Like, why can't you just speak to them? Why do you need to put this on social media and let everybody know X, Y, and Z? I've always kind of thought posts like that were cringy. If you do posts like that, I'm not saying that you're cringy. You do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying for me, I just don't do that. I rather go to him and say, I love you so much, X, Y, and Z, than post it online. But I have also seen where a woman will introduce her boyfriend to like her TikTok or whatever, and the comments will be like, we don't want to see him. Get him off the screen. Like, why is he talking so much? Like, this is supposed to be about you. Such an interesting concept, this article. So, Sophie Milner, who is a content creator, also experienced people unfollowing her when she shared a romantic relationship. This summer, a boy took me to Sicily. I posted about it on my subscribers section, and people replied things like, please don't get a boyfriend. She admits that her content perhaps becomes less exciting when she's in a relationship. Being single gives you this ultimate freedom to say and do what you want. It abs- it is absolutely not every woman, but I do notice that we can become more beige and watered down online when in a relationship, myself included. That's very interesting too. Like, because we get so caught up in these relationships, we kind of stop like being invested in the things that used to make us happy, like our little hobbies and this, that, and another. Like, I feel like so many women have been through this, and that's why it's making such a conversation online. So it goes on. From my conversations, one thing is certain: the script is shifting. Being partnered doesn't affirm your womanhood anymore. It doesn't. Like, just because you're in a relationship or just because you're married doesn't mean you've suddenly made it. No, having a bomb ass career, being able to pay your bills by yourself, have your own fucking apartment, be able to go on vacations whenever you want, like that shit, that right there is considered womanhood, like ultimate womanhood to me. Used to be, I feel like, getting married and having the kids, and I still want all of that. Don't get me wrong, but like that wouldn't make me feel like, okay, I've accomplished womanhood. No, it's all the other things I just listed. It continues. It is no longer considered an achievement, and if anything, it's become more of a flex to pronounce yourself single. As straight women, we're confronting something that every other sexuality has had to contend with: a politicization of our identity. Heterosexuality has long been purposefully identifiable, so it's harder for those within it and outside of it to critique. However, as our traditional roles begin to crumble, maybe we're being forced to reevaluate our blind allegiance to heterosexuality. Obviously, there's no shame in falling in love, but there's also no shame in trying and failing to find it, or not trying at all. And as long as we're openly rethinking and criticizing heteronormativity, having a boyfriend will remain a somewhat fragile or even contentious concept within public life. This is also happening alongside a wave of women reclaiming and romanticizing their single life. Where being single was once a cautionary tale, you'll end up a spinster with loads of cats. It is now becoming a desirable and coveted status. Like the cat lady. Oh, you're gonna be a cat lady. You're gonna just grow up single and be a cat lady. Like people are like, okay, I would be fine being a cat lady because why put up with all the stress that comes with like being with a man at times. Like, I mean, we've all been there in those unhealthy relationships, toxic relationships, where ultimately it probably would be better just to be single than even be in a relationship at all. Um, so, yeah, interesting. So, it's no longer a bad thing or a threat to be a cat lady. People are welcoming it. It is now becoming desirable and a coveted status, and another nail in the coffin of a centuries old heterosexual fairy tale that never really benefited women to begin with. I loved it. I loved it. I feel like it brought up a lot of conversation for women who are single, for women who are partnered, because a lot of these women, like the podcasters, like they were talking about, being in a relationship where having a boyfriend is lame, and they were partnered themselves. And even me, I'm partnered, and I'm letting you know, like, you know, I feel like if I come across a woman who is like, oh, my boyfriend this, my boyfriend this, my boyfriend that, I'm gonna be like, girl, like, I don't like what's going on with you, okay? Like that's kind of cringe. It is like you don't want to be around that girl who's consistently so boy crazy, or everything that she does or think is about, okay, I got to meet a guy here, oh, I want to meet a guy here. Like anytime they go out, like their only thing that they have to do is finding a guy for that night. Like we've all been there, and it can be uncomfortable being around that person. Whereas if you're going out with your girls, you're just all having a good time, you want to get dressed up, look cute, have some drinks, take your pictures. Like that's a fun night. And if you find a guy along the way, then you find a guy along the way. But to have that be your sole focus for getting yourself together and putting yourself together and looking cute is to find that guy. Mm-mm, absolutely not. And I do. It's not. It doesn't happen like that anymore. Women are getting dressed up for themselves now, to look good for themselves, to look good for, you know, whatever aesthetic it is that they're going to go at whatever restaurant or bar, so they can take pics and look back at them and be like, oh, I was a bad bitch that night. Like, and it's not about getting dressed up for their man. So, and of course, you do want to get dressed up for your man at times, but a lot of the times women are doing it for themselves nowadays, and I love it. So let me know your thoughts on this article entitled Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing? And this was written by Chanty Joseph for Vogue. Check it out.